1. What's next? So, after a breakup, what's next? Some people go on a long trip of separation where, after communications are severed, connections are hastily erased. On social media, people are blocked, friends are separated. After a breakup, someone you really liked no longer wants anything to do with you. Someone you thought you loved now just sees you as a big mistake. That person who really got you, that person you'd kiss and make out with, you feel disgusted by. You feel cheated when you realize how much time you spent with her, how much feelings you let show, especially when you really love deeply. But should you feel disappointed that you were vulnerable and then hurt by that? Should you feel betrayed and then sulk in that hurt? That feeling of 1,000 pins to the heart? I know that feeling. But what I can't tell you is that I relate to you, because as we all have several preferences, we all have our differences, even more so. I'm not here to tell you how to feel or to validate your feelings or to make you happy sitting in your little puddle of tears trying to undo the deed. The truth is, I don't care. I don't care as much as you do about her as a guy or about him as a girl. But like Jesus said, turn the other cheek until the wheels fall off. But are you a till the wheels fall off kind of gal? Or are you more of a till the next stop kind of person? Breakups hurt. Breakups hurt so much that you wish something crazy happens to her. Breakup hurt so much that you wish she would be riding her little scooter and the brakes would malfunction. It can be tough on one's confidence. It can be detrimental to one's health. But what's next? What's next really after a breakup? What's next? If I do this correctly, you'll learn how to move on and do that faster, especially in this day and age. So what caused your breakup? Did it end right before the first date even started? When the date that was supposed to start at 7 p.m. started at 10 p.m.? 3 hours later? That's if it actually ended up happening at all. Did it end when you got stood up multiple times but kept trying to win her? And lucky you eventually did, but at what cost? Did it end during the first date when the boy realized that she ordered the most expensive items and didn't even finish? Ah, another victim of free food. At least you learned to live another day. But this time you're not the same guy as earlier in the date. That lovely guy, the lovely guy that did all the work to get the meeting. The date's now dead, or rather on vacation, because he's apprehensive and defensive until the relationship dies a rather deserving death. Breakups still hurt, though, especially if you love deeply. Did it end when she took too long to answer your texts? When the moment you texted without a reply, a double text, you become the needy one? When we all need each other, really. Isn't it funny how complex love is? Or should I say, isn't it funny how like is, how quickly it can go sour? Did it end when she stopped responding to your texts? Girls, what's your story? I'm tempted to say it doesn't really matter. Simply because no matter how the relationship ends, being a victim when it ends is usually the lowest hanging fruit. It usually only takes one thing to be over, especially these days. Let me tell you a story about fruits in the park. And this story just happens to feature a few strangers, Holly and Smith. Two strangers who happen to spend a couple hours in a park every weekend, although at different locations in the park. And at the end of the time spent in the park, Holly walks past Smith and probably Cody, Tosh, Marty, Dustin to the nearby farmer's market. Holly, hey, Holly, do you see any of those guys? Yeah, you might notice them, but do you really see them? What about Ollie? The dude about 5'8", your age, slightly bearded, standing at the intersection in front of the zebra crossing, holding a stop sign to let little school children pass? What are the chances you see him? Not look, not notice. Do you see him, Holly, truly? So the next weekend, Holly and Smith go to the park. With a pack of fruits in his hand, he musters up the courage to walk up to Holly. And he says, "Hi, I saw you over there. I've been noticing you for a while. I think you're really beautiful, and I like the way you walk." Holly smiles. She says, "You're really funny, but you're just not really my type." Now, this makes a usually confident Smith slightly nervous. It's common knowledge, maybe not so common knowledge, that it takes a lot for a guy to walk up to a girl he likes or is starting to like. Even more so, a slightly questionable Smith. What I didn't tell you about Smith is that he's modestly wealthy, fairly accomplished, and at 16 years of age directed a feature film. It bombed, but he eventually figured it out, and in his next business, everything changed. But no matter what, Smith just won't get a car, or a driver's license, to say the least. Little did Holly know, she just rejected her dream guy and would have to spend the next 30 years single and wondering what went wrong when... But let's not get sidetracked. This is still just a story about fruits in a park. Lovely, ain't it? How a snarky comment we don't take note of can mess up a lot to come. Think about that. And in the next session, we'll talk about ego in breakups.